When Martin Luther posted the 95 Theses in Wittenberg, John Calvin was just an 8-year-old French boy whose father was a lay official in the Catholic Church. Calvin was not among the first wave of reform, but a second wave reformer who built on the works of Luther and Zwingli and others.
Young Calvin began his studies at the University of Paris at the age of 14. When he finished his studies in philosophy, some historians think that he may have intended to study theology, but his father insisted that he study law instead, so he enrolled at Orleans. Calvin's time in Paris had made him aware of Luther's thought, and his time in Orleans deepened his commitment to humanism's scholarly attention to original sources. Throughout his studies, he was increasingly drawn to reformist ideas, leading to a sudden conversion, a break with the Catholic Church, and a commitment to Reformation.
John Calvin's prominent role in Reformation arguments forced him to flee Roman Catholic France. He wound up in Geneva, Switzerland, where he was persuaded to stay to help consolidate the city's recent acceptance of the Reformation.
Calvin understood that his primary task was to form a church capable of preserving the Reformation faith and living according to the gospel. Within 2 years, Calvin's efforts had placed him at odds with the city government over who would control liturgical and sacramental practice. Calvin insisted that these were matters for the church to determine and not for the state. After 2 more years of conflict, the state responded by banishing him. So Calvin made his way to Strasbourg, where he was drawn by the city's reformer, Martin Bucer. He soon became pastor of the city's largest French-speaking congregation, which was a community of refugees who were seeking the freedom to worship God in this new way. It was from Bucer that Calvin developed his understanding of church ministry and governance, as well as a love for congregational singing of psalms.
Attempts to turn Geneva from Reformation back to the Roman Catholic Church prompted city officials to implore Calvin to return. He only agreed when the city accepted his insistence that the church control the liturgy, sacraments, ecclesial discipline, and church governance. The Scottish reformer John Knox, who studied and preached in Geneva under Calvin, said he considered Geneva the most perfect school of Christ that ever was in this earth since the days of the apostles.